Is there anyone who did not get a Unit 3 workbook? Oh, do you want the same color workbook as everybody else?
No.
No, you don't care? Okay, cool. Hi. You didn't get a workbook? Okay, let's grab the workbook. All right. It's blue.
That's true. This is like the one spot where I
Okay. So what we've got here is the POGIL activity that if you were here last day, we've already gone through, but I find that people often understand it a little bit better if we go through it together and pick out some of those key words. There's a lot of vocab in this unit that can be a little bit confusing. So let's take a look at this top left-hand diagram where we have 8 particles. Hi. You need a workbook. Okay. There you go. And just see if I run out right in a second, but just give me a minute, and I think I'm making a little more hard. We're on page 1. Tristan, could you close the door for us, please? Thank you. There are 8 particles. Judging from that, if there are 8 particles, what is one thing that could be a particle based upon what you see in this picture here? What is one thing that we could classify as a particle? Tell your partner. What's one thing we could classify as a particle? Pash, you wanted to give us an answer? Atom, yes. One type of particle is an atom. And a way of representing an atom would just be the easiest, the sort of Dalton model, okay? So there's an atom. Whoops, why did that go so small? Okay, now we also have this kind of a particle here, where we have 2 squares both joined together. And in this diagram, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 particles. Tell your partner what another type of particle is in this diagram here. Yes, Tavian. You do not need to give back the unit 2. You're either going to keep it or recycle it, up to you. So, what is another type of particle? We have atoms are a type of particle. What's another type of particle? Zach. Molecule. A molecule is another type of particle. So we have number 1 is atoms, number 2 is molecules. And I'm going to let you know right now, my abbreviation for molecule is MC, capital M, capital C, because molecule is a long word and sometimes I don't have very much space to write. Yes? What would a molecule look like? If this right here is an atom, what would a molecule possibly look like? I could have what? 2 circles, but they would have to be what? Connected. Okay, so in a molecule, we have 2 atoms which are connected. Those 2 atoms could be the same, or those 2 atoms could be different. Okay, so those are molecules. Now, back to this sample here. This is sample R. Okay, what do you notice about all the particles in sample R? All the particles in sample R. Brian?
They're all like just singular things.
They're all singular atoms and they are all the same. So all the particles are the same. Do you know what we call a substance if all the particles are the same? A substance in which all particles are the same see if you can tell your partner. And is there anyone who did not get the workbook who just came in? Did everybody get a copy of the Unit 3 workbook? Yes. Okay, we're on page 1. So if all the particles are the same, what type of substance is that? Yes. That is a pure substance. So because sample R at the top left, all the particles are the same, we can say that it is a pure substance. Can you find another pure substance? So once you've written that down, see if you can find another pure substance. Point to another pure substance for your partner, your neighbors. Show them one. Do we have any more pure substances in the first row? Yes, we do. Which one is it? It's that question mark. If you had to give a symbol for question mark, what might you call it? T. Okay, so we have sample T. And what type of particle is this? What type of particle is that? That is an atom. And all the particles are the same. And because all the particles are the same, this is a pure substance? Are there any pure substances in the second row? Are there any pure substances in the second row? Yeah, Tavian, do you see one? What one? Which one do you see? SQ2, absolutely. That is a pure substance. Every single particle is a little doubleton. Yes, we've got an SQ. Why is it not selecting that for me? This is the same as this, is the same as this, is the same as this. Okay, so all the particles are the same. Therefore, it is a pure substance. Are there any other pure substances in row 2? Where all the particles are the same? Milan?
I'm pretty sure all of them are pure substances.
You're pretty sure all of them are pure substances? Yeah, well, let's see. In our SQ, we have a little circle and a square. And the second particle is also a circle and a square. And then we also have a circle and a square. And guess what? Another circle and a square and a circle and a square. All the particles are the same. So again, this is, I'm not going to write substance. I'm just going to write pure for now, okay? Because I'm running out of room down here. But there's something different about RSQ compared with, let's just take a look at these three together here. Okay, if we focus on, I'm just going to outline these guys in blue here. The 3 samples in blue, they're all pure substances. They're all pure substances, but what makes RSQ different than the other 2 samples? You should be chatting with your partner. What makes RSQ different from the other 2 blue highlighted samples? Brian.
They're composed of different.
Yes, the particles contain different atoms. Okay, so the molecules contain different atoms. Do you know what we call it when we have molecules that contain different atoms? So when different atoms are attached or bonded, we have a compound. So the key thing about compounds is that you must have different atoms. They must be attached to each other or bonded to each other, and that is called a compound. So is a compound a pure substance?
Yes.
Yes, because all the particles are the same, okay? But within that particle, you have different atoms, okay? So a compound is a pure substance. That's the ugliest arrow. Doesn't look nice, doesn't look like an arrow. Looks like a mushroom. Put a little door in it. Little home for a fairy elf. I don't know. Maybe I'll just turn that into an arrow. I was never very good at being creative in art, so whenever they would ask to draw a picture, I would always draw a little mushroom with a little door in it and a little elf and then like a little bird that went like that, because I was the same, like I didn't have to think of anything new. I'd be like, okay, I'll draw that because I know how to draw that. Creativity was not my strong suit. Now, is there another kind of substance that is a pure substance? Because we have RSQ, which is a pure substance, and a compound. But right beside it, and maybe I should get rid of some of this highlighting because it's now getting a little bit overwhelming. Right beside it, we have another pure substance. Is it also a compound? Is SQ2 also a compound? Discuss with your partner. Is SQ2 a compound? No. Why is it not a compound? Yes? All the atoms are the same, and in order to have a compound, you need the atoms to be different. Yes. Okay. What would we call SQ2? All the atoms are the same. Baran? That is an element. So a pure substance can be a compound, or a pure substance can be an element. And it is an element when all the atoms are the same. So not just all the particles, all the atoms. There's no other type. So in row 2, we have, on the far right, we have a pure substance, which is an element. In the middle of row 2, we have a pure substance, which is a compound. What do we have on the far left of row 2? Is that a pure substance or is it a mixture? It is pure because every single particle is a square with 3 circles attached. So this is pure. And if it is pure, what are your 2 choices for pure substances? Pure substances can be one of 2 things. A pure substance is either a compound or an element? Which one do we have here? We have the one I'm going to highlight yellow right now. Is this a compound or an element? That is a compound. How would you write the formula for this compound, which has one square and 3 round things? Yes.
R3S.
Yes, you could write it as R3SQ because you have 3 rounds and 1 square. Okay. So that's a pure substance compound. How about the bottom left-hand corner? Bottom left-hand corner. Is that a pure substance or is it a mixture? That's a mixture. How about the middle one at the bottom? Is that a pure substance or a mixture? That's a pure substance because they all look like, I don't know, I always think those ones look like little angels or something that you would put on top of a Christmas tree. That's what they look like to me. And how about the far right on the bottom? That's a mixture. The one on the left at the bottom. Yes, sorry.
Is the top middle, that's a mixture?
The top middle is also a mixture. You are absolutely correct. And actually, while we're up here, what type of a pure substance is the top right? T. That is an element. Okay, bottom left. We have a mixture of what? We have a mixture of this substance and that substance. Are those two substances elements, compounds? Is there one of each? What do we have a mixture of? It's a mixture of element A and what could we call this one? Element B. So it's a mixture of 2 elements. How about the one over on the far right at the bottom? It's a mixture. What is it a mixture of? Tell your partner. It's a mixture of what? We got that there. Is this little guy here a compound or an element? That's a compound because it has 2 different types of atoms. And how about this one right here? That is a compound. So this is a mixture of 2 compounds. Okay. And I think our final mixture is up here at the top. We have a mixture in the middle at the top. It is a mixture of what? Two elements, right? We have triangles and we have circles. 2 elements and what? A compound, right? Because we've got that. And a compound. And there's just one thing I wanted to add on here before we move on. And that is, there are more than two types of particles. I want you to think back to your last unit and see if you can remember a third type of particle. There are atoms, there are molecules. Can you think of another type of particle? Yes. Sorry. What were you going to say? Subatomic particles. You guys are both correct. Okay. So you said subatomic particles. You said ions. I kind of looked like both of you, so that was very confusing. I'm sorry about that. So yeah. So we have ions, and we also have the subatomic particles. What are the subatomic particles? Protons, neutrons, and electrons. So we actually know a fair number of particles. Last unit, we were mostly focused on the protons, neutrons, electrons. This unit will still have some focus on electrons, but mostly we'll be looking at atoms, molecules, and ions. We'll mostly be looking at the electrons in how the ions form and why they form and so on. Okie dokie. Where did we want to go next? Let's check and see. That's not what I want. Is that what I want? No, that's not what I want. Oh, that's okay. No. Here we go. Page 13. You may have already done page 13. We're going to talk about it a little bit. If you're bored and you want to work ahead on anything, go for it. Technically, all of you should have done page 13, but we're going to focus on it a little bit more. Yes? Yes. Will, do you have your book? Yeah? So we have two prefixes here. Actually, before we get to the prefixes, let's work on how we say the last part of this word. The last part of this word is almost pronounced like genius. Okay, genius, except for we give it that extra syllable in the middle, genius. So homogeneous, heterogeneous. Yes, genius. Now we do have this prefix here. We have the homo prefix and we have the hetero prefix. And you know me, I like to go and figure out what prefixes mean so I can use them in different contexts. Because in science, they use prefixes for different words all the time, but the prefixes keep the same meaning. I would like you to chat with your partner and see if you can figure out what the prefixes homo and hetero mean based on what you read about the mixtures and maybe how you've heard those prefixes in other areas of life. What do those prefixes mean? So I assume that probably most of you, before you heard the word homogeneous, have heard the word homosexual, yes? Okay. And if someone is homosexual, they are attracted to people of the same gender. Okay. So the prefix homo means the same. If you are heterosexual, you are attracted to people of The opposite gender, we're just going to say different because that's what it really means, is different. So homo means the same. Hetero means different. So we live in Canada. So there's this thing in our dairy cabinet at the store called Homo milk. Yes? You've seen that? It means homogenized milk. You know how when milk comes out of a cow, the fat part will separate from the watery part, yes? What they do in homogenized milk is they mix it very, very thoroughly, and they put a few agents in there to keep it mixed. And so it becomes all the same throughout rather than having a fat layer floating on top of the bottom layer. So that's why it's homogenized milk, because they've made it all the same. When we get into genetics, do you guys know how you get like half of your genes from your mom and half of them from your dad? Yes. So let's just say that you get a gene for eye color from your mom and a gene for eye color from your dad. Okay? Now you get one copy from mom, one copy from dad. Now maybe the dad one is brown eyes. Yeah, you got brown eyes from dad, and the mom also gave you a brown eyes gene. So you have two brown eyes genes. So we say that you are homozygous for eye color because you have the same type of gene for from both parents. But if you had a brown-eyed gene from mom and a blue-eyed gene from dad, you would be heterozygous. So do you see how these prefixes, like they'll go through chemistry here? In biology, you're going to have homozygous and heterozygous when it comes to the genes. You'll see them in all different contexts. Yes?
But in most cases, isn't it like the dominant gene that like usually happens?
Yes, but that doesn't affect whether you're homozygous or heterozygous. So yeah, we will talk about that when we get to the biology unit. Dominant genes will sort of cover over recessive genes. So if you have one brown-eyed gene, and eye color is actually a really bad one because it's way more complicated than one gene. It's affected by several genes plus environmental factors. But we're going to pretend it's as easy as this. If you have brown gene, you will make the brown pigment, which covers up blue eye, which is basically no pigment. Yeah? So if you have two browns, you just make lots of brown. And in order to get blue, you need two blue copies, because otherwise the brown will cover up the blue. But we'll get to that in Unit 5. Okay. Take a look at these two pictures and decide. Here we have an omelet on the left, and we have some juice on the right. Both of them are mixtures. Which one is a homogeneous mixture and which one is a heterogeneous mixture? Tell your partner what you think. Which one is a homogeneous mixture and which one is a heterogeneous mixture? Okay, omelet, homogeneous or heterogeneous? Omelet, heterogeneous, yes. So it is a heterogeneous mixture. And if you remember, what does hetero mean? Hetero means different. So in our heterogeneous mixture, we have different areas with different properties. in that omelet, you have the tomato area. Tastes sort of tangy, maybe, and a little mushy. Okay, so that's the tomato area. And then it looks like there's some cheese in there. So that area tastes a little bit salty, maybe a little bit creamy. Yeah. And then we've got the egg, which sort of, I don't know how to describe egg texture, but you know it has its own texture, right? That's not the same as the tomato or the cheese, right? So we have all these different areas with all different properties. Whereas with the juice, what kind of mixture do we have with the juice? Homogeneous. Is it going to taste different if you're drinking the first part of your glass of juice or if you're drinking the last part of your glass of juice? Will that taste different? Nope. Whoops, I forgot a couple letters in there. It is all the same properties throughout. Because homo means the same. Now, someone yesterday said, well, that depends on the kind of juice, right? Sometimes the juice is a little bit different at the bottom of the glass, and that is true. If you have, say, some orange juice that's got lots of pulp in it, yeah? Maybe all that pulp is settled to the bottom. But if that's the case, if your orange juice has pulp, is it all the same throughout? It could be messed up, but let's just hang on for a minute here. If your orange juice has pulp, is it still homogeneous? You've got the liquidy part, and then you've got the pulp, which is solid. Yes? So there are different areas, even if they're quite small, even if it's been mixed up well, the pulp is floating around, you could still separate it out, right? Very easily. Yeah, they have different densities, they're different states. The pulp is solid, the juice is liquid, right? So that would actually be a heterogeneous mixture if you have pulp in your orange juice, okay? But if you got rid of the pulp, that would then be a homogeneous mixture. Okay, what is another word for a heterogeneous mixture? If you did the reading, hopefully you'll know, Jade. Mechanical mixture. So heterogeneous mixtures is also known as a mechanical mixture. So those are just two vocab words, okay? I have a tendency to use the word homogeneous mixture, but you will see a lot of places where they use the word mechanical mixture. Those two mean the same thing. Okay. So those are our mechanical mixtures. There we have a lovely little heterogeneous mixture, a mechanical mixture with leaves and dirt and sand and all kinds of stuff. Granola bar, heterogeneous. Ball pit, heterogeneous. Some oil with chilies in it, heterogeneous. Now, homogeneous mixtures also have another name, and that name is a solution. Yes. So a homogeneous mixture is also known as a solution. And most of the time when we think about a solution, we think about like dissolving something in water maybe. But you can actually dissolve silver into gold. Yeah, if you melt the two, you will make a solution of silver in gold, and then when you let it solidify, it is still a solution because it's a homogeneous mixture. All right, let's take a look at some pictures here. Stainless steel. It is made of iron and chromium and carbon and a few other things. But is that steel different from one area to the other? No, because it's mixed really thoroughly. Okay. How about a cup of tea? Can you see different parts? Will it taste different places? Nope, it's all going to be the same. Okay. Now let's take a look at this little picture here, because now we're going to look at the particle level. Okay, and I'm going to, the purple ones I'm going to circle in black because they're kind of hard to see the difference sometimes. And then over here, we've got these little black ones, la, 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 la. I don't know why I have to sing while I draw. La, 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 la. Okay, so if you had to guess which of these is homogeneous and which of them is heterogeneous, tell your partner what you think. Which one is which? Which one is homogeneous and which one is heterogeneous? Okay, this one over on the left. Homogeneous or heterogeneous? Homogeneous, yes. And the one on the right is heterogeneous. And the one thing that you should be looking for if we're looking at the particles, like if we've zoomed in super close so we can see the particles, you are looking for clumps of particles in the heterogeneous mixture. Yes? This one is homogeneous? That's okay. It's still heterogeneous because we have we have a clump of purple stuff over here. We have a clump of purple. And over on the right-hand side, other than that one little purple one, we have a clump of green. And so you have two different areas with two different properties. Let's just say that the purple particles taste like grape. Yes? This area has the property tastes like grape. The other area, because it's made of different stuff, is going to taste different. I mean, in all honesty, we're probably not going to be tasting our chemicals, and nothing's going to be tasting like grape, you know, but what do you think the green stuff could taste like? Could taste like lime, tastes like lime. So we have two different areas with two different properties. Now, what would it taste like if you tasted the homogeneous mixture? Yeah. It would taste like grapey lime or limey grape. Yes? So there's only one set of properties. A homogeneous mixture only has one set of properties. In other words, all the properties are all the same. Ah! Throwing things on the ground. Dear me. So when you have a heterogeneous mixture, you're going to look for clumps, which is just areas of one type of particle, okay? Okie dokie. So we're gonna go to our next page now and just look at a few more examples. We're gonna start by looking at all of these homogeneous mixtures on the left-hand side of the page. How can you tell that this is homogeneous? How can you tell that that is homogeneous? We're now on page 16, 1-6. Yeah. The particles are evenly mixed. Sometimes people will look at that and they'll say, oh, but hang on, I've got two atoms together there. Isn't that a clump? And then to that I say, imagine how small those atoms are. Does two atoms really make a clump? No. Okay? The part of the problem is we are limited by the fact that we don't want to take up a whole page for our drawing, and yet we need to make the atoms of a size that you can see them. Yes? So it's really hard to draw a big enough sample size so you can see that they are really evenly distributed. So in this sample, the particles are randomly and evenly distributed. And that's what makes it homogeneous. And these two guys here, those are not a clump. Yes? Yeah, usually, yeah. Although, we'll take a look at one in a minute where it kind of looks like there's one that just has clumps within it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Now, this sample over here, the one I'm highlighting yellow, it's almost hard to tell whether that's a homogeneous mixture or a heterogeneous mixture just because there are so few particles. Yes? I mean, are you going to be like, oh, I have a clump here? Is that really a clump though? No, because we have so few molecules, it does not qualify as a clump. So again, this is not a clump. We have done the best that we can in that small of a space with that big of particle pictures. Yes? And do you see how these guys are randomly distributed? Those particles are randomly distributed within the water molecules. That's actually a mixture of ethanol and water, alcohol and water. Now, if we go across to our heterogeneous substances, you're going to start looking for clumps. So let's go looking for clumps. Do we see a clump of black particles in this diagram? Yeah, kind of down here, there's a black clumpish area. Okay, that is a clump of black things, black little particles in amongst the white ones. And over here we have purple clumps. And down here we can see we have this one area. Sometimes it's not even like a clump. Sometimes it's like, you know, when you have oil and water, right? It's like there's the oil layer and there's the water layer. We have mixed those two as well as we can, and we only have two areas, right? That would be a heterogeneous mixture. Okay, so there we go. We have our clump. All right. And I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to work on pages 16, 17, and 12. If you are done those, you can feel free to work ahead. All right, your eventual homework is also going to include 21, 22, but I will give you a mini lesson before we do that and that. In fact, Tyler will give you a mini lesson before you do those. So I'll give you like 10 minutes to work on that.
What?
And then I think it's actually going to be break time. I think. Yeah. And then after break, we'll have Tyler teach us a little bit more. And also, if you're interested, I have marked your tests. I can't give them back just yet because not everyone has written their test, but I can tell you what your percent is if you are interested. Now, before you come on up, if you get your percent and you're not happy with it, what can you do? You can do corrections with me. I also want to say that I had a couple people who after Unit 1, they were not happy with Unit 1. They started coming in regularly for flex time for Unit 2. And their Unit 2 mark compared to their Unit 1 mark was like this. Okay? So just that regular coming in and getting help on things, because any of those little misinterpretations that they had could get cleared up, right? They got personal attention rather than like me talking to 30 people or trying to come over and visit you for a minute at a time. You know, you can get a concentrated 10 to 15 minutes and we're all good. Okay, so if you're interested in getting your mark, you can come on up and see me.
Hello.
Hello. So let's see, where are you? Right there. Okay.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, Cash. Label by my thumbnail. Okay. Lena. There you are by my thumbnail. Okay. Chloe. Right by my thumbnail. That's the percent. Okay. Zach. There you are. Okay. I haven't marked those yet. Oh. That's your percent right there.
Miss Spence,
Yeah. Okay, so if you want to come in and do the rest of the chat.
what percent is proficient?
Proficient 75.
Okay. And what percent?
Hello. TBN.
What is it out here?
So if you want to come in and do corrections, feel free. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. When can I do that?
You can do it any day flex or after school, and if those really don't work with you, talk to me and we might be able to arrange a lunch.
Okay.
Okay? Hi, Andres. That is your percent. Okay, so you might want to come in and do some flex. Yeah? Okay. John. Lee. Oh.
I got 99.
You were away for a whole bunch of it, so I feel like that's what happened, okay?
What did I miss?
Sophia. You are right there by my thumbnail. Okay.
Wait. 96. I
Okay. Ace.
What? You check your schedule.
Oh, I've written it backwards. I've written your percentage where it's, here's your percent, it's the green one. Percent is the green one. Okay? Alright, sorry.
You got better than one.
That is a lovely proficient mark, my dear.
What is extending?
Extending 95. That is a nice, healthy Matthias. No? Okay. And
99.
George.
Yeah.
I don't know how well you did. Okay. Yeah. Lola, there by my thumbnail.
Oh, okay.
It's good.
No. Wait, what?
Yes.
Is it a spelling?
What is it? Just like your total
Oh.
grade so far, or just a test?
It's just this test. Okay.
I did all of
Right by my thumbnail. Okay.
How did you get?
Hi, you. There. Okay.
Wait, what? Is it a spelling error?
I forget what it was.
I still
I still haven't written it.
Huh? What?
What?
No, I said I still need to do it. Because I was basketball this morning and then I couldn't make
Yeah.
time.
Okay. So when are we going to write this?
Can I do it right now? Like, after-
Yeah, let's have him do it right now. Good plan. Okay, let me find that for you. Where are we? Here. Is it this one? Yeah. That's the one. Those. And those.
Wait, can I not use the thing?
What?
I got
Ionic covalent.
People ask what me the shape of
I'm not.
Well, break's gonna take place like.
you guys don't come out any.
What happened to Tristan? Where did he go? Because he needs to write this test for me. Alex has already written it. Sean is away. Milan has already written it. Milan, I haven't marked yours yet. Okay, I'll have it for you on Monday. And if you want your test back, you're going to have to wait till Monday, but then everybody can see it because everyone will have written it. Okay, so what's that? Oh, Tuesday, right? Because Monday's a holiday. Yeah, because Monday's a holiday. Yay! Tristan!
Oh, yeah, sure. Definitely. That's great. No. I'll check it. You said I'm getting that from because of the sweater. I would have been happy with You're so close. You're so close. Like I'm not happy about like so much like. Look at this sweater. Milan versus Mr. Beast. On the boulevard, look at your legs. Oh, give me no, bro, you're beefing yourself up. That's not fair. Or maybe actually one out of one out of if someone starts flaming you over one of their legs, over one of your legs, they fall or oh, ask her. Yeah, bro. Ask her. No, I didn't. Yeah, I saw this unfair, bro. Look at his face. No, I think I saw like triple digits. Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure I saw triple digits. No, it's probably like a 10.
You guys got to go get at least what you want to know.
Chase.
By the end of the day.
No. We just.
We gotta get like down here.
Bro, just see what you got.
And did you finish like every bro? You have to finish all of these. I finished all of them. I already finished them. You're lacking. You're lacking, bro. You're lacking. You're like 20 times one in them.
You dare me.
Oh my god.
Bro, I'm pretty sure I saw triple digits next to it. It's probably gonna be 200%.
But actually, I think we calculate. You only calculate as you ask.
How does it work?
I know he's gonna come out with like hundreds. No, I'm not. I am not. He's gonna brag. He's gonna be like, no, I won. Yeah, it's gonna be a secret. Oh. Why'd you have to draw that? I'm just why did you do that? Yes. His brick. Golly.
Right, so we're not.
No, don't miss Mr. Beast though. This is Milan, you got it. Milan's hair like a fish. Oh, yes, he only has What did you get? I got less than
Bro, why is everyone getting 1 mark above you?
I'm gonna get like 80. What did you get? No, it's with the extending one. Maybe on the normal course you got it's the average, it's not the extending one.
You guys doing a full break right now. We'll be back at 2. Okay? So break right now, come back at 2. Ready? So that's 15 minutes, which I think is reasonable.
I failed. Will extending, if I do good on the extending, will it bump me up to 100 on the test?
Oh. But in the marks, did you?
But it doesn't affect like the test grade, it affects your overall grade.
Yeah. So when you gave us the grades, you didn't calculate.
No, I haven't even marked the
So
merge
I'm
section.
good.
I haven't marked the merge section yet.
I'll be happy with it. 100. I'll be happy with it.
No. Well, at least I'm actually sending all my classes like that. So, got a proficient. Yeah, woodworking, that's everyone got proficient. Okay, I only got proficient. Yeah, I got street proficiency. Are you bad? Yes. I'm sending someone to get everything.
This one.
I'm actually being forced and it's the senior. That's true. I get 5 classes. Oh,
No, don't try. No, yeah. That one, because not only is it I think you can try it because it's long. Through some food.
He erased it, but like you can see remnants of it left. What?
Let me see.
Mr. Beast.
Oh!
Mr. Beast.
What if you draw
Little Mr. Beast. He's Laurie Mark.
Let's get out of here. Shit, you're getting captured. Shut up. Shut up. You're the one who's involved in this. You're not family friendly. Instant karma. Instant karma. See, this is what you get for drawing on my gas. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Instant karma. At least he didn't show karma. He's dumb. He did it. He did it. You don't understand. Yeah, but you're 10. But you get to redo it. I don't get to redo it. Oh, okay, that's true. That's true. You can't. You're screwed. You like that. It's gonna be like this. 8%. Why did I take a picture of it? Shut up. I just turned on gas. Don't do that though. Gas turned on. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Okay. You wait till it's like the same. I need that one people run here. I need that. I'm not taking that 10-7. I'm not taking that 10-7, Dante. I need that rematch. I need that rematch.
Wait, you lost to Dante?
Like last year.
No,
I need a big for that. Like last year. I need
No, no, get his book, Dante.
Oh, this is my book bag. Hey, no.
Shut up. Shut up. That's him.
Oh. Frank, you could have walked up. You didn't even correctly crawl.
Yeah.
I can't.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
trying
right.
after running.
Oh. There.
Look on you could run.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring you someone's side.
She's yours.
That's Robert.
How can you make my whole
The
thing?
intended sarcasm.
Fighting.
What?
I mean, why would I be? My house.
Yeah, well, you don't want to walk with Jalen together.
I take the bus and then I can walk. Because he's gonna take the bus with me. He's gonna take the bus. No. Wait, I can just say I'm going to like somewhere where you can just leave. I can say I'm going to. No, but like, I mean, I go to I don't know how to do it. Like the thing is, substantially down. Let's just walk so. Why do you want to do that? I'll just take
No, bro. Matthew, let's almost meet a bus to production. You
No, because from nobody just with house is like at a good distance. Because it's like I don't want to walk There's no point of all this video, so I can just walk home. So it's not there. Honestly, I can just go anywhere. No, I just find one.
Fall forward into it.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna. Yeah, that's what. No, but he's just gonna walk. I want to see us.
No one is about.
What? What? Me and
No, I
I just put an ego sense. Like he took our clarinet once and then I'm like, bro, yo, I can't say that. That's what he done to me. Bro, I was walking home with him yesterday alone. I was like, bro, you don't want to say anything. It's like I don't want to just let him get to the here, you know, shit go on. Oh, no one. I'm like, would be like us. I would and I'm like, bro, stop. You should stop looking for whatever he talks about. I don't. Yeah. I told him I don't want to talk about it. He's like, are you getting uncomfortable? I said, no, I just said like,
No, Brian, is there like no, there better be no projects, right? Is it projects? Like, do you have any
guys or something?
No, because like last year I had like so much projects. Like, pockets. No, like,
Yeah. And then he's like, I'm just having a room soon. I'm like,
you have life.
Jacob's living in thing. He's trying to kiss me. He's trying to kiss me on the street.
Metal is positive.
Without my consent.
I'll put you in the back of the bag. I think
It says that I'm actually gonna start a fight.
Oh, that was double.
Yeah, me too. I would back you up, honestly. Like, against all.
There's probably license
important.
Like I don't have the patience.
I'll
Turn it
help
over.
you fight.
Honestly.
I'll be like.
After Lamont got sick, he developed. Remember his face?
I bet
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Bro, you can dig this. Outside slice. You probably took his license.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just like,
You had it in your head.
no, we thought we're bullying you. I thought that was your fault. I turned it over so like, in socials, Orhan is like always talking shit about me. So let's be honest, around him. And I think
He's like always just like saying stuff.
he's always mad. He's always mad. Orhan's always mad.
Did you see him?
Yeah, that's what I think sometimes. Like, no, but mostly he just says like how you like.
That
try to
sounds
avoid
from
talking
2019.
And like, try to blame on happy. He's trying to get like happy. Bro, I thought Orhan and John.
Why is Orhan
mad, bro?
I have no idea.
I might take this off, bro.
Always mad.
Yeah, I might take this off.
Yeah, Orhan's like always.
He's mad. I seen him.
What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm like, bro, I didn't do anything.
What? What you been playing for, bro? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Wait, bro.
What?
No, me and Orhan are friends.
Oh,
He's chill. He's chill. He's chill with me. He's mad. He's chill with me. He's mad.
I
Like,
don't even know why everyone's mad at me. Like,
He's
what
mad. He's always mad. He can't beat me. He can't beat me. He can't beat me. I think he's always mad because Dante always wins.
on your IP address.
I always beat him in triple draft. He always lose so I can make it.
What arena? What arena? What arena? What? Yo. I'm better. 17. I'm at 17. I was arena 16. I was 17. I'm 17. Mid ladder. 6,000 trophies. And I don't even play the game. What? Oh, you want to see? No, I barely play the game. I don't even touch my phone.
I don't think
I'll take that one.
I'm gonna sweat time. I can't tell you the
What?
I'm sweating. But like at the same time, like I don't really do it.
Next semester, the only thing we can sweat on is this. Bro, math, I don't even try. Bro, apparently your math class is
Yeah, Mr. Leon is so chill. Mr. Leon is he's really chill.
apparently his bonus questions are on the left.
Yeah,
Oh god, I got a 100.
you got a 100.
I got a
You got a nine. You got a nine.
You're gay.
I got
When people look at my deck and be like,
That's what they call it. Like, I got a 102% on one.
bro, you should get expanding for
I know. The math's easy.
Oh. Bro, why does like Irma bro? I actually don't have the patience.
He just hates him.
I'm like Milan now. I don't have the patience to deal with anyone who was like I'm done.
Bro, these
There's always
two kids are like the two guys. Well, I'm gonna send you some more text.
Wait, who have that?
These two, like they're always like
She learns to be
they're like copy paste.
Me and Milan?
Yeah, your personalities are gonna be pasting.
What do you mean? Me and Milan have
They have the opposite.
Actually, no, I can see why.
I can't be. He said some shit. I think
You said he's a mystical. He's like,
Why are you talking about? What's wrong with that though?
The friend group. One time you were like, yeah, I'm bad. Like, it was like,
So
like, I thought it was. It's like, hey,
bro, my French teachers, my French substitute.
Like back away from the grade 9.
no.
wait, which grade?
No,
John, start us off.
John,
start us off.
Started a conversation. And then she was like, she said a bunch of stuff and she was like, whatever, just stay out of the.
Oh!
Well,
Well, it's not even.
Oh, Sean told us that, but I was like, who you got to like kids with like.
I beat him with that's not kind of
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
No, I
you lost.
bro, you know Kevin, right?
No, I don't give a fuck.
Daddy, I'm like threatening to, like, I just if he goes to a party and drinks alcohol, I'll, from whatever university I'm gonna go all the way home and beat the shit out of class.
Let's go.
No, let's go back. Actually, let's go back.
Oh, why are you getting out so high?
Wait,
Can
I arm wrestle you?
No, the thing